Nice to see you. Can we start off? Can you introduce yourself to this audience by just telling us a little bit about yourself, where you're born,
Yep.
where you went to school, and what your first few jobs were?
Okay. Yep. That's great. So my name is David Robertson, and I was born down south in Essex, and I was born in my council house where I was brought up, and there was five kids, and we went to the local school, and I was a proper little boy, out and about every day. When mums get you out of the house and they don't come back till it's dark. I
Yeah,
was one of them.
that was you, right? Yeah. Go
And I
on.
used to go catching adders and mice and rats and newting.
Oh,
Proper little lad,
yeah.
scruffy little urchin, and I don't know. I didn't bother doing A levels or anything like. I've got three O levels, which are like GCSEs:
Yeah.
maths, physics, and English. And
Not bad.
so the expectations at that time that you'd be a bank manager or work in London or something like that. But no, it's quite a poor family. My mum and dad couldn't read or write. Yeah, I know. And but my dad left when I was about 8, so I was a little bit of a rogue with everything. But I love sport as well, so I was in every sports team for the school, even basketball.
The basketball, right?
Yeah, yeah,
One
yeah.
I've played a lot
I'm
of.
not very tall, but I was nippy. I
Yeah.
played scrum half
Point.
for rugby union team
I
as
can
well.
see that. Again, nippy. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorting out the forwards,
Yeah.
slapping the backsides.
Get over there, mate. Yeah.
And then I played for the my local town as well for the under 21 team as well. So yeah, it was good. Well, it was all right. And yeah, I used to play football. So I remember I used to have, do you know Kevin Keegan? So some of your,
I don't use
yeah, I used to have some Kevin Keegan boots. But before that, I had these great big rugby boots with a big toe on the end. So I
it.
was fullback. So I'd wind my leg up and whack it right up the other end. No
Booted.
one come near me.
Yeah. What position were you in football then?
So eventually I played in midfield.
Midfielder, right.
Yeah. So again, it's sort of controlling, you know. But I was okay. I was all right. Yeah. So I like that. And I don't know what else is there. So yeah, no, I earned a few quid, um, cutting some old trees down that had died, and we made a cart. So we my first entrepreneurial flair was selling logs. Yeah. So a lot of the houses were ex-London prefab. You know, they gave plots to people in the West End. My dad was in the East End, so they gave plots out, but they didn't put any
That's very
drainage or
Essex,
water.
isn't it? Paris,
Yeah,
the East End of London and class.
yeah.
Very
But I
Essex.
left school when I was 17, and I joined the Air
Did I?
Force.
So did I. I didn't join the Air Force, but I left it.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
and then so I did all my training, and then I became an electrical engineer.
Wow, right.
Yeah, and then I specialized in digital. So that was the start of my digital life, I suppose.
That's how you've
And
got.
then I worked on tornado jets,
Right.
testing stripping them down. They were brand new from British Aerospace. And then we put them back together again, made some modifications and sent them out to the front line. So I tested the nuclear weapon system as well. Yeah, not the bombs. We didn't have them. And then eventually I got posted, and I worked on the digital variant, the fighter version as well. So I used to repair the computer system, 7 black boxes that controlled all the missiles. Yeah, so
Very serious job.
yeah, well, but one of the reasons I left was I didn't like war, you know, and the whole Northern Ireland thing was rubbish, and it still is,
Yeah.
you know, all of it.
Yeah.
So I did get put up for commissioning. So I had a choice of going through the ranks, go for a commission, or decide to do something else. So I did something else.
You made a moral decision that what nasty business, I don't want to be part of it.
Yeah, I know, but it got me away, you
Yeah.
know, and taught me tons of stuff, tons of stuff. And I learned to iron my shirts.
Still, I'm still practicing that.
Well, I've just got changed, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, what else I do? So while I was in the Air Force, I met my ex-wife in Boston. So when you apply, you're allowed to live off camp. So I bought a house, and then somebody introduced me to her, and eventually we got married. And she's an actress and still is. And we I worked in Whitby for 6 months, and I can't remember. Oh, that's right. I used to make puppets for the theatre company, and then eventually I joined them, and then I got bitten by the bug. So from tornado jets to working for a little children's theatre company.
Doing puppet stuff. Right, yeah,
And
you've had
then
a very, very career, haven't
but
you?
then I also volunteered for jobs like that, and eventually I went down to Cornwall, converting leisure centres into an opera house for Duchy Opera.
Wow.
We did La Boheme, about 7 venues. It's the first time I ever had a spliff as well, by the way.
Oh, was it Danny Cole?
Bloody great big cigars.
Be careful
No,
down there.
I didn't like it. I couldn't see the point. I couldn't see the point. No.
I
And
can
then
point every now and then, but I've
no,
been,
I just can't be bothered.
yeah.
I haven't had anything since, I don't think. No, I just couldn't be bothered. And then I was asked if I wanted a job in the West End. So Return to the Forbidden Planet. So it was all set in, if you go into YouTube, I think you can still find it. The Cambridge Theatre in the West End, the original cast. And so I did 6 months there. And then I became a technical manager of a theatre in Bedford. So, and then joined touring companies, did all kinds of stuff. So I was technical manager of theatres.
You said technical manager, so what's that?
Yeah, lighting and sound.
And the sound.
Yeah, all of that. Um,
So that was
yeah, but
the Air Force background then, I guess. Where you
yeah. So yeah, I've done tons of stuff, and that's, I suppose, we're going to talk about the kind of things I'm doing now, and that's why I can sort of stand in front of a lot of people with confidence now, and um, and talk about you and events, So I was assistant technical manager at the Palace Theatre in Mansfield. We had Ken Dodd and bands and all kinds. Yeah, I know. Well, I once stood in the wings with him, and in the green, he was in the green room. I just stood on the wings, which is, at the stage side, and he made jokes about my legs. I was wearing shorts.
Oh, did
He thought I was a Chippendale, but not the big muscly men, but it was about my legs, the chairs.
Leaning the right.
Yeah. So no, it's good. So done all kinds of stuff like that, and then so I opened up the picture house as well, in Keighley.
Yeah, I
yeah.
Did.
So I had an arrangement with Charles, who still owns it, and so that was for about 6 months. So 3 months before it opened, and then 3 months after. So I put in all the popcorn and the Coca-Cola and all that.
Wow. So how did you end up north then? You started off.
So my ex-wife was basically, when I left the Air Force, I thought, well, I don't care where I live. Where do you want to go? So because she's a fan of the Brontes, I didn't even know who they were. I had no idea. So we moved to West Yorkshire. So we moved to Oxenhope first.
Right.
We rented a house for 6 months. So everything 6 months. And it was like we had loads of snow. And so I worked in the mill in Oxenhope, just humping and dumping pieces of cloth.
Wow.
And then I just found, it didn't matter. You just got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And so I think they're now in Keighley, because it's and the Lower Town Mill are apartments. So I had a great time, great bunch of people. So I really then established myself, you moved to Haworth, just rented various places, got myself sorted, um, put down my roots, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I used to live on Main Street in Haworth as well. And that's when we had Tom, my eldest son. We used to sit on the step, waving and smiling and making cups of tea. There's my phone. I'm just going to switch this off. And yeah, we just had a good, yeah, it was good. And I also took on a couple of shops there as well.
Which shops?
It's David Holmes's shops. They're still there now, halfway up or halfway down.
Right.
There's a little bench. There's a little bench just halfway, which is one that I built as well.
Wow.
So I had two. One is now a pie shop, I think, but we knocked through. I had a little workshop above it as well.
Yeah. Furniture.
Making some of the furniture that I'm looking at now.
Right.
Out of reclaimed pine, but I didn't want to, even though I wore masks, it was just I didn't want to get dust on my lungs and on all of that. And to be honest, right. I didn't know. I was still unsettled, and I still didn't quite know what to do. And more kids started to sprout, so we had to move out of the house. It was only tiny, but I fitted a Yorkshire stove in that house. We rented an old barn as well, and eventually we got out the housing market, and then we bought in Stanbury, which is where I am now.
Right. Yeah.
That's a bit boring, isn't it? Talking about me.
Is it got up to 3 kids? Was it 3 sons?
Yeah. So Tommy's now he's 24 and he's studying antimatter. So yeah, at CERN in Switzerland.
Good on him.
Will is 21 and doing search engine optimization with an agency in Bradford.
Yeah, I guess we'll come back later because you know a bit about that yourself.
I know a little bit about that. I know a lot about it.
Yeah.
So if anybody's watching this wants some search engine optimization, you come to me. Okay. And then Albert he's still got these things here, but he's likely to move out very soon, and he's off to university in September.
Right, so they're all growing up now, I guess. Well,
yeah. He's 17 and 18 in June.
Right, cool.
Yep. So that's where I am.
Very interesting history, very varied. You've done all sorts, collected all sorts of skills, I guess, that's when I think you get something interesting, putting things together that people know together.
Yeah.
And
I did have a business centre in Bradford in between all of that. I mean, I did that for about 10, 12 years. And I ran regeneration projects as well with Bradford Council. Worked on City Park for a couple of days. Chaired Destination Bradford, trying to win work for the city and the district, which is volunteered. Part of Bradford Live in those early days, for the Odeon.
And is it through the business centre that you got involved in business networking?
Yeah. I used to run it from there. So I used to work for the Chamber of Commerce as well. So we ran breakfast bites when I ran the high growth startup program. So I used to have 60 high growth startups in Bradford at the Midland Hotel. And that's where breakfast bites began. But the Chamber decided at that time not to bother with startups so they closed the whole thing down. And I ran various projects with them. So I ran a regeneration project in Greengates as well. Ravenscliff, Greengates, that area.
Right, know it a little.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've done...
That started at Chamber of Commerce, but you've kept it going now. It's now based in...
Yeah. Well, I only registered it, last year. I thought, well, I want to get going with it again because I spotted a gap in Keighley.
Definitely.
I was looking for a name and a brand and a domain. And so I registered it, created a logo myself, created the website, and here we are. So I was with you this morning, weren't we?
Who haven't, had the pleasure of coming down yet and joining in, which I hope some people more will. What is Breakfast Bites?
So, well, it's for all kinds of sectors. So, it is in Keighley. Now, today I got a second contact in Bradford who, so I'm going to explore both. I've also got going to explore Skipton as well.
Soon. But
Yeah.
it's a regular business networking meeting in Keighley.
Yeah, every week, every Tuesday. Every Tuesday. So we ask people to arrive just before 9 so they can grab a tea or coffee, and loads of parking outside. It's all free, right next door to the leisure centre. And if you get there early enough, you can go for a sauna or go in the steam room.
Come in nice and relaxed to the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And just for those who don't, I recommend them. I attend these meetings regularly, and they're great. I always meet somebody interesting. I'm always happy to have Kurt.
Yeah.
It's always a nice chat with someone.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're interested in business, get yourself.
Yeah. So I always have a guest. I always like to have a guest. If I run out of guests, I'll do something on Google Analytics or something like that. Just make it interesting, or offer a bit of time for others, But it's really all about looking after each other, finding referrals, getting to know each other, having a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, we have that as well. Yeah.
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 Eating chocolate biscuits.
I do that. I always grab a hand. I can't have them in the house, David. If I've got them in the house, I will go through the whole. One or two, I think. Yeah.
Well, today, Danny, we are revealed that we're putting on, myself and Wendy Spencer from Airedale Enterprises, the Airedale Biz Showcase, 13th of June, 2024. So the stands are available.
How much are they going for?
So I'll tell you that now. So if you're a member of Breakfast Bites like you, a stand for you is £195, but you can share with a friend as well. You can share with 2 friends, Yep. So if you're not a member of Breakfast Bites, and that doesn't mean you just come every now and again, you pay for the whole year like you have, then it's £249. And that's a sort of similar price to other similar events happening around as well. But it's going to be quite a big one as well. So there'll be space for 60 stalls, and there's a large stage there. And I'm running 2 networking sessions, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And we will be doing speed networking for that. So you're going to meet tons of people, So I'll manage all of that. I'll manage the time. And we might need somebody on the door, Danny.
Okay, well, you man for that. Yeah.
I'm going to be outside directing the traffic. All right.
I can stand
and making sure nobody parks on the yellow hash lines out there, as some people do.
If they get tickets, they'll be complaining to you, I'm sure.
It's free. You don't have to buy tickets.
Yeah, so just get the right parking.
Yeah, so if you're in business...
Is it free to attend, David, or is it...
Yep, free to attend.
Just a stop.
Yep. So we're going to email out, myself and Wendy, we partner up, and we're going to email out. Wendy's got, about 7,000 emails, something like that. I've got about 1,000, 1,500, I can't remember, but every week I'm adding more and more and more.
Right.
Yeah,
sounds like a great event.
So it's going to sell out.
Buy a stall.
Yeah, and there hasn't been one in Keighley like this, so it'd be the first that I know of, anyway.
I'm really happy how we met. As you mentioned Keighley, and I think, like you said, I bit your hand off, because Keighley, I think it's a hidden gem of a little town up there.
Yeah, because I met you at the Victoria Hotel in Bradford.
You did.
When you mentioned Keighley, and it's like, no, me and Danny got to do something.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot good going on here. We just need to let more people know about it, I think. And I think
well,
there's a lot of talent at it, and we'll bring in even more talent once we understand.
You've got loads of friends. You mentioned Polish friends. Bring them along. If they're watching this,
hopefully
you're all welcome. So the first session is free, all right? And then the second session or more is £15. Yeah. All right? And you could just come occasionally.
Or you can pay for the whole year,
pay for the whole year. It's £495 now.
£495.
Yeah, but that's still one referral.
Yeah. For a lot of businesses, yeah.
Yeah.
One referral, you'll make that back. 2, you're in profit. 3 or 4.
Yeah, easily. And that's for the whole year.
Yeah.
And if I do open, or when I do open in Bradford, or Skipton, then you don't have to pay anything more.
Right. And the way they can register for it, is it through the website still?
Go to Breakfast Bites. It's always going to be through that. Breakfastbites.co.uk. Click on Keithley and then just follow the link.
And just follow.
So at the moment, as this is being recorded, it's going to feed into a Google form, which feeds into a Google Sheet. And then people that attend get the delegate list emailed to them.
Right. That's great.
Yeah.
And that website, just to, again, pump up your skill a bit, you built like yourself, didn't you? Because that's another that you've got is web design.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to buy websites or videos, so I'm going to give myself a plug as well while I'm here as well. Yeah, so if you go to blueskyseo.co.uk, you can see the kind of work that I'm doing now. If you click on or hover over services, you can see some of the samples of the videos that I've created, some of the websites and email campaigns. But also, if people are employed, I don't know, you could be a marketing manager that's come through the ranks but not really sure what you're doing. I also provide, I haven't started yet, but I think I'm experienced enough and keen enough to mentor people as well.
Yeah, again, I can vouch for that. David's given me a lot of good advice as I just get started off on this business journey. And if I can talk a little bit, because people who are regular viewers of the channel, a few of you are out there, you'll know that we started off with community groups. And now I'm still going to be interviewing community groups. Hopefully I'll have another one coming up for you this week. But I'm also interviewing businesses because, to me, businesses get a bad rap among some of your more social-minded people, but they do a huge amount of good social work. I found out working with the community groups, a lot of them were working in partnerships with businesses who are really helping them out. So I think, I'm interested in trying to do good, or I like to think I'm anyway. And I think you can do that through the business sector as well as the community sector.
Of course you can.
And they both link together a lot.
And they're all people.
All people. It's all people doing stuff, and you can do stuff together and help each other out. There's no reason.
Creating jobs, and if you've never been a boss, you haven't got a clue. Become a boss and employ people, and then you'll realize, why I haven't got any hair left.
Hard work, stress, sleepless nights.
Because people do. If you give them an inch, people will take a mile. Not everybody, because there's lots of good people out there as well, but it's tough employing people.
A lot of people in the community and charity sector are that way minded. They will try.
I know.
Charity sector doesn't mean they're all saints. Let's be real.
No. Well, we've had that discussion, and they're not. No, it's just a different legal system.
It is. It's a different legal.
Hey, look,
got bad work in either sort of sector,
Loads of people said that I shouldn't even bother with Keithley for this,
But it's gone well in it, because like we said, Keithley.
Well, little by little.
Realise,
I know. And, we've only been going 5 minutes, really. So, and the kind of people that I'm bringing now, inviting, so most of the people from this morning will be there next week as well.
Yeah, we've got,
and in fact,
a regular group.
Many of them, because it's half term today, so or this week,
next week, yeah,
there'll be even more. Yeah,
we've got a good regular group. There's always some new interesting people.
Yeah,
I recommend it. Whatever your business is, get down. I'm sure there'll be somebody you talk to who can at least give you an interesting piece of information.
And everybody that attends are really nice people. Otherwise, I'd show them where the door is. Or I might need an SIA man, or
I'm there, yeah. If there's any,
or a black belt who's somebody, we'll get Raj.
Raj and me can probably, we can stand by the door if needed, So I think just before we finish off, touch on last bit of your skill set, which we alluded to earlier. The search engine optimization. Can you tell us a bit about what that is and how you do it?
Okay, so I do build websites, and I would prefer other agencies to attend, because I just ideally want to be the host, but they need. So if they don't pay for the whole year, I've built my relationships with everybody attending anyway, So, I'm going to take them. But really, search engine optimization is basically helping websites get through the rankings. Yeah. So anybody can build a website, you could just throw anything together. But unless it represents, unless you get the right wording, the right, get your brand right, you get your messaging, your images, your videos, it'll just sit there, unless it can be like a brochure type of site. Yeah. So, and if you're happy with that, just having a really simple site and, and everybody really should have a website now, just showing their portfolio or anything, then it'll just sit there. That's fine. You drive traffic to it. You invite people to look at it, yeah, rather than having a printed brochure. But actually, if Google is important to you, then there's a whole bunch of things you need to do to that, and that's where people like me come in, yeah. So we need to get into the back end of it. Now, most companies don't want to do that because there are different systems behind the scenes. So I use Gutenberg, which is a version of WordPress, the latest version of WordPress, and I much prefer that. So I'm working on a project at the moment, and so that's a monthly project, and so in 2 or 3 weeks I'll start that again, and I just do 3 or 4 pages at a time. So it's good money, but I'm undercharging for him. He's a good guy, right. So he really wants to compete with 2 other companies who are overpricing and don't really care. He cares. So I like the underdog. Hey, I'm an underdog, You guys can refer to me as well,
Reason we get on, yeah.
So it's helping websites, and there's no magic bullet to it. So, I get all the emails from India and Pakistan and America, everywhere, and they all promise it's easy to get a website to the top of the page. So easy, I can guarantee it. But there's no point in doing it unless, the key. It's all about keywords. So there's no point in doing it unless they're pages that people want to find and people want to read.
Yeah, you can get them up to the top of obscure search terms, but you need to get to the top of the.
It depends on the competition. So you need to do the analysis beforehand. Yeah, do all the keyword research, look at the competition, see if it's worth competing. So sometimes I've turned down clients. I can think of one guy, it wasn't worth him spending the money. His competition were far more powerful, So, so I would do that. I'd rather do that and be credible. Because if I, because my reputation matters to me. Yeah.
And you had a lot of success doing this. You're driving traffic up threefold.
Yeah. Well, the breakfast bites, we're doing that via email at the moment. So it's still a young website. So the website needs to be at least 6 months before it can really get going with Google, Wow. So yeah, we run email campaigns.
Experienced man like yourself knows, which I'm not. I like the technology, but the actual details of this, I don't know. So this is why.
Yeah, well, sometimes people don't even get to the website. So that's why I specialize in Google Maps, Google Business Profile. Most people forget about it and leave it.
At Breakfast Bites, David has given a talk on Google Business Google Maps, and he showed us all sorts of tricks there, which I found.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, and I didn't know about. So definitely worth coming down to Breakfast Bites or just contacting David and having a chat and maybe employing him because, he really does know stuff on that. All right, mate. Got a lot of stuff there, and we'll add lots of links in the descriptions for people who want to contact you and follow you. Thanks so much, and maybe we'll do this again when we've got some more updates.
You're very welcome. And I've got a room in my house to let as well.
Anybody wants to stay in Stanbury, there you go. Very nice spot.
And it's lovely and hilly, lovely walks.
Yeah, but not far from Kiefer if you want to do your shopping. So yeah.
No, exactly. 4 miles, and there's a couple of shops, some shops in Haworth as well.
Yeah, and you got Haworth as well. Yeah. All right. Thank you, David. Talk to you again soon.
You're very welcome. Cheers, Danny.